Thanks for being here, Bill.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the gig. You know, a lot of times it takes somebody, a new cast member, a while to pop on that show.
Yeah.
You kind of popped right away because you did an Al Pacino impression.
Yeah.
And everybody in our office was talking about it, you know, on Monday. Like, that guy, that's really funny. Did you study a lot of Pacino's films to get him down? How did you come to that impression?
No. I watched him on the his acceptance speech on the Emmys for Angels in America.
That's the only time.
That's
the only part you studied, yeah.
Yeah, I was watching that, and he was kind of like just totally into like the peripheral and like weird things. So he was like, "Oh wow, we got some lights, got a couple of cameras. That's nice. Yeah. All right."
So did you do him for the? Did you do Pacino for your Saturday Night Live audition?
Yeah. I did him for the audition, and I did Pacino. It was kind of weird interviewing his new maid staff. So it was like all new maids.
And he's like giving them instructions.
Yeah. It was like if I walk into this kitchen and I see a cantaloupe on that table, I will lose my mind.
Those are the instructions I give.
It's kind of like, it's a weird thing to think about. Like, oh, Pacino said he was made. So yeah, it's like cantaloupe.
You know what's interesting about you is that you were, you know, a lot of people talk about being discovered. You truly were discovered for Saturday Night Live in a very unusual way. You know, you didn't have a manager. It's not like you sent in a headshot or a tape. Lorne Michaels just heard about you, is that right? And kind of not in your normal way, is that?
No, yeah, I was in a really small sketch group in LA, and Megan Mullally's brother-in-law, Matt Offerman, was in the sketch group, and we just did a show, and she showed up to it.
Megan came by?
Megan came by from Will and Grace, and I was like, oh my God, Megan Mullally's here, so it was really great. And afterwards, she was like, oh, you're really funny, and I was like, oh, thanks. You know, I was like, wow, she came to the show, and then like 2 months later, she called me on the phone and said, oh, so I told Lorne Michaels about you, and he'd love to meet you. Is that okay? I remember saying that, and I was like, no.
How dare you?
Why did you do that?
Yeah. I like working at Best Eaten Donuts.
Yes. This is great. All the coffee I want. Sugar. No.
So he hears about you, and then this whole thing happens. But you weren't unfamiliar with show business. You had worked in show business, but behind the scenes. Is that right?
Yeah, I was a production assistant in LA for like 6 years or so. And
you worked on some big films, right?
Yeah, I worked on Collateral Damage.
With Arnold Schwarzenegger. Sure.
I know you like.
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. Who doesn't love Schwarzenegger? So you got to really be around Schwarzenegger a lot. What was your impression of him?
It was crazy. We were in the jungle, like where they shot like Predator, like in Mexico, and everybody just has like long sleeve shirts and like hats, and like we're just covered in bug repellent because there's like bugs everywhere. It's just like totally insane. And Arnold just hung out like with no shirt on, like in boxers, like smoking a cigar, like playing chess. And bugs are coming around. They're like, and he's like, yeah, kind of like King Kong with the planes, you know. Like,
he probably waits till the mosquito is half filled with blood and then flexes and it explodes.
He was like, come on, dude. Come on, Speedo, come on. Yeah.
Give me your best shot, Speedo.
Oh, yeah. And he turns into Al Pacino.
Yeah. Did he? You said he was playing chess. Is he he's a chess player?
He's like a huge chess fanatic, and that was like the hardest thing because he would like play with someone from. You know, like a crew member, anybody walking by, like, we'll play a game of chess, you know what I mean? And they're like, no, you know. And I had to, like, take him to set, you know, and we would be waiting for hours, like, where's Arnold? And he's playing chess with people. So we devised a thing where we, like, write a little note and slip it to his opponent and it'd be like, lose, exclamation, you know what I mean?
Just to get him, get the game over with.
Just to get the person to be like, all right, hey, whoops, the board, you know?
Yeah.
And he caught on to it, you know, and he was like, what is that?
What does this say?
I just surrounded by assassins. You know what I mean? Like,
read this for me.
What is this?
What is this lose?
What is lose?
I do not know that idea.
I don't have a good Schwarzenegger.
Mine went away too. I don't know what happened.
They became Pacinos.
You know, I know a lot of young people today probably aren't familiar with one of my favorite actors of all time is James Mason.
Yeah.
And he's in Lolita, and he's in A Star Is Born. I mean, just this incredible. I think one of the great British actors of the 20th century. And so it's unusual that you do a James Mason impression.
Yeah, I did it for my audition. Yeah.
How did you get into James Mason?
Well, my parents were like huge fans, like old movies and stuff. So, so I grew up watching them. But in my audition, I did James Mason at a donut shop with an expired gift certificate for a dozen donuts. It was like
I want to hear that. If it's all right.
It was like. Yes, excuse me. I would like to buy a dozen donuts with this gift certificate. And I would also like your biggest bottle of you. I'm sorry. Oh, I see. What's today's date? How much are the donuts without the gift certificate? Yeah.
What do you think of those? That's great. It's just like other people would just do James Mason from a movie. I like the small disappointments of life for him.
Yeah, you had to go through that at some point. Like, James Mason had to be someplace and like, really?
Yeah, really? Oh, okay.
You know who I am?
Oh, the coconut and one of the chocolate. Yes, all right.
That's fine.
Well, you're a very funny guy, and thanks a lot for stopping by our show.
Oh, thanks
Appreciate
for having
it.
me, man. Thanks.
This weekend, Jack Black is hosting Saturday Night Live, and he's one of the funniest people alive with musical guest Neil Young. Sounds like you guys got a good one.
Yep.
This weekend.
Thank
hey,
you
continued
so much
success to you.
for having me
Yeah,
on.
we'll see you again. Stay right here. Bill Hader, we'll be right back. Clap your hands, say yeah.